She's a April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
I need to pick better friends.
I want a gold star.
So I want to talk about nodding.
It has a protein.
Science.
You can tell me I'm a good girl. It's fine.
I did like the biting.
That's what we signed up for.
You finished before me.
Everything that's inside your vagina is pixie dust from here on out.
That's what I told him last night.
Do you want to know what makes April blush and become shy? Join us live streaming from the Annapolis Book Festival on April 27th to find out. I hope to see you there.
Molly, I think that's Cece Harrington. And Molly's like, go say hi. And I was like, I can't. She won the Schneider Award.
Boing, boing, boing. Guys, the Annapolis Book Festival
is April 27th from 10 to 5. All day, all free, open to all.
Are you Mario? What the fuck?
It's me. It's a Molly.
No. It's April.
It's April.
So I forgot to tell you this, but my husband, our lovely editor, might be getting another editing gig.
Stop.
Well, is getting another editing gig. And you want to know who he's going to be editing?
Tell me it's Nikki Payne.
It's Nikki Payne.
Yes, boo-boo! Welcome to the Book Besties umbrella!
Actually, I think because she's kind of famous, we might just try to, go under her umbrella.
It's fine. We love you, Nikki. Welcome to the family. You are in the family, boo-boo.
And I forgot to tell you this, too, but last week I actually got asked how to start a podcast because somebody was interested in starting one, and I was like, I don't know. They're like,
find a best friend.
They're like, but you've been doing it for, you said 3 years. And I was like, yep.
I don't know.
How do you start a podcast? I don't know.
I don't know. You know what we do? We read a book and we talk back and forth. We've been doing this for 10 plus years.
For someone like me who does not just rolling with the punches, who's super organized and a researcher by literally by trade, you
dove into this head
let's
first.
Just try it.
Because it's fun. And we love spending time together. And if this is the only time we get to spend alone, we're gonna fucking do it, boo-boo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we should tell the group, the gang, that we shamed Katie in group chat today, and I may have made her think that she was gonna get shunned from the library for a little bit.
Girl, we did. Okay, just for clarity's sake, we did not shame Katie.
I did.
You shamed Katie.
Because I'm an asshole.
She asked if he was going to get in trouble, and I was like, no.
No. I'm not going to put... Katie, we love you. I'm teasing. It was just really fun. I was like, no, they're definitely going to shame you. They're going to come out Game of Thrones style. 100%. No. Shame, dung, dung, dung.
No.
I'm going to get you a big belt.
Our stats. We get our stats that this was a lost
book. I think it's time to just start handing out big bells to librarians.
Nobody wants that.
I do. I'm here for it. Let's do a shame walk. You bought a book. You borrowed a book in 1994.
The point of the library.
You borrowed a book in 1994 and never brought it back? Shame on you.
The people who shame people in public libraries are people who are thinking that books are going to corrupt people.
I don't think that. I just like harassing people. It's fun for me.
I'm telling you. That's who's shaming people in libraries.
I am a chaotic gremlin.
We must protect the children.
Because if we
may not have access to books and resources,
they will die if they read. We cannot let them mature.
It's like Footloose, but with books.
Welcome to the year 2024, our Lord. It's like that. Did you see my TikTok from this week?
No, because I went to watch it and it just wouldn't load.
Okay, this week I got really pissed. Really, I've been really sick this week, gang. Really fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was last year at this time. Because my body fucking hates me.
It's because the trees are evil.
Yes, and they're just dumping disgusting, nasty shit from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there scrolling TikTok, and this woman tells. Now, remind you folks, TikTok is an app for children.
No, it isn't.
It was invented for children.
You have to be 18 to create an account.
OG originally. That was the original intent, okay? This woman is on TikTok in the year of our Lord 2024 telling women what they can and can't wear. Who the fuck was she? And who the fuck do you think you are to be able to just come on the people's internet and be like, you know what? No tube tops for you. No. Dress your body type. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We don't do that anymore. You want to know why? Because
Yes,
that's the shit.
and yet you are giving her a platform on our podcast.
Yeah, I'm a tit. I'm not saying her name. You know what I did though? I yelled at her a lot because Molly gets mad.
Mm-hmm.
Molly gets really mad because I'm a mom of daughters and I really, oh baby, I'm sorry you're in pain. I'm a mom of daughters and you can't tell my girls what they can and can't be in this world. I already dealt with that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Cocaine Chic?
Did I tell you that recently I started rewatching the beginning, like the early seasons of America's Next Top Model?
No.
I had
Oh
to
God.
stop. I had to stop.
It was
A girl
probably
was
awful.
a size 6 and they called her plus size.
That's disgusting.
I was like,
That hurts my heart.
"What?"
That
So,
hurts my heart.
Since you mentioned my pain, update. The
Update.
procedure I had
Sad
does
update.
not seem to have worked. So I went back to the ortho this week, and
I'm sorry.
they're doing an EMG.
Hell to that. That sucks.
Yeah, they're doing an EMG, which is where they are going to stick a needle in me and then send electrical currents so that they watch my nerves and muscles twitch.
To see why it's twitching and not twitching.
And in 7 years, no one has done that.
Nope.
Why is this the first time I'm having this done? It has been very disheartening. And anyone that lives in chronic pain like both of us, like, you know that it's so frustrating and you don't want to start with a new doctor even though you feel like your doctors aren't listening to you because you have to start completely over.
That was when we were talking about this move.
Mm-hmm.
That was Matt's number one no.
Mm-hmm.
We had a doctor we finally trusted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now I can't get into a rheumatologist because of the pandemic and doctors quitting and nobody wants to be in medicine anymore.
Right.
Till fall.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very frustrating. And
stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If anybody sees me, if you are watching us on YouTube and you see me like wincing in pain, it's because I'm very uncomfortable right now. So
living at between a 4 and a 6 all the time takes a massive toll, not just on your physical body, but your mental health.
Yep.
And as somebody that's been doing it since I was 25, it makes you want to take your own eyeballs out with a melon baller.
Yeah.
So you could feel something new.
I feel pretty crappy.
Yeah. Can I suggest a treatment?
Sure.
Weed.
I actually looked into it, and the city I work for, because in Virginia...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're a public servant.
Yeah, in Virginia, it is medicinally legal. We legalized it recreationally, but that law is still being flushed out. So I work for city government, so there's a whole bunch of other rules that I have to fall under.
Yeah.
But I would prefer it. Like, it's a fucking miracle that I've been in pain for 8 years and I'm not an addict at this point. Something, because I keep refusing any opioids. I'm like, no, I'm not taking that.
That's what I do. I have refused opioids all the way up till now. The only time I've taken opioids was my spinal surgery and my ankle surgeries. And you were around during those time frames. And as soon as I could, I got off of them. I was in excruciating pain, but I'm a child of addicts, an addict. And I refuse to let my system even consider it.
Yep.
So now that we've had that fun chat, you want to talk about a good book?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Fucking good book. Oh my god, I gotta get the book.
Do you need to, or can I just show my copy?
Well, I have the Afterlight one. Oh, you know, I'll do a TikTok. Here's the point, guys. I got an exclusive copy of this book.
British import.
Of this book, and I will do a TikTok next week for it during this episode. Okay? It'll be on TikTok, Instagram, all over. Moving on.
Okay. So we are covering this book this week, Bride by Ali Hazelwood.
What is wrong with me?
You're such a weirdo. And do you want a synopsis?
I would love a synopsis.
Is this the third Ali book we've done for pod? We did The Love Hypothesis, and we did Love on the Brain. We didn't do Love Theoretically, did we?
No.
Let me try that word again. Theoretically.
Theoretically. I was going to say Love Hypothesis. No, I was going to say Lessons in Chemistry, and I was like, that's not an Ali Hazelwood book.
No.
I'm just throwing science books out now.
Science.
Good job, Molly.
All right. Here's the synopsis for you. Okay. Misery is the daughter of the most respected member of the Vampire Council. Lo is the alpha of the closest werewolf pack. In an effort to create a positive relationship between the two rival species, Misery is to be married to Lo, whom she's never met or seen. Misery agrees to the marriage for one reason and one reason only. Her best friend Serena is missing, and there is evidence to suggest that Lo is responsible. The day of their wedding, Misery expects to be slaughtered by her groom. So when Lo grabs her, she was only surprised he left her alive after commenting on her smell. What Misery never expected was developing deep, real feelings for the alpha, but we expected it because that's what we fucking signed up for. Or that those feelings might be reciprocated.
That's what we signed up for.
Right. While Misery is a virgin, she opens herself up to Lo and his not. There's also a bunch of side stories, which we'll talk about as we go along.
I love that you were just like, not.
Yeah.
Total side top. I got Matt reading this. I have Matt reading this.
So I want to talk more about the not later because I have to tell you a conversation I had with Tom.
Matt has started this book, and he came home, and he was like only like 3 or 4 chapters in, and he goes, that scene at the wedding with the smell, and he looks me dead in the eyes, and he goes, Twilight. And I go,
yep.
Good job, Matthew Joseph. Good job, Matthew Joseph.
This was very Twilighty. I feel like Ali Hazelwood writes good fan fiction because, like, Love Hypothesis was basically Kylo Ray.
But this isn't Twilight, man. This is so good.
Yeah,
I loved this so much.
All right, well, let's get into it. So I've actually read all of Ali Hazelwood books, including her short story collection. I have to amend that. I did not read Check and Mate yet, which is her YA, but it's on my shelf.
Piper can give us a synopsis if you want. She's read them all.
Okay.
That kid's a weirdo.
And I think that we covered 2 on pod. This is our 3rd. So this is Ali's first deviation from like the STEM rom-coms into a paranormal romance. So how did you think she did in like the world building and storytelling of this genre?
I was impressed. Mm-hmm. This woman writes IRL. This woman writes in a lab. This woman writes, she belts. Yes, she belts. She is now the WWE belt holder.
I need to pick better friends.
Fuck you. No, respectfully, just fuck you. She built a world in probably no time flat. She gives me Chessie vibes. Like, I've never met Ali, and I'm sure someday if we stay in this industry, we will one day. But because
our good friend Nikki Payne is friends with her, so...
Right, like, we're in the same fucking circles, homie. So, like, it's feasible. I'm saying it's feasible, so is Olivia Day. Just saying.
Olivia Day so much.
I know. So, it was zero surprise to me that she had a complex, not just world, but systems for each family, right?
Mhm.
The werewolf pack had a very complex family structure. The vampires had a complex world structure. The
Mhm.
humans had a complex world structure. And she had them all intertwined. She
Mhm.
had it. There was I never left that book with questions about the world.
Yeah.
I was not leaving there. Sorry about my nose. I was not leaving there worried about world building, having questions about the world. And that's sometimes a problem in fantasy novels like this.
Mhm.
I'm like, I need more context
Mhm.
because while I'm enjoying this storyline, I need more world building or I'm not going to be able to focus on me.
Right. And then we have authors that spend way too much time building worlds.
And not enough time
and
on
not enough
character
time building
development.
stories. No, I think that this I felt like this was like real. Like I
Yeah.
felt like
It was
okay, yeah,
realistic.
vampires and werewolves and humans all coexist and they're like rival species and that totally makes sense to me.
Right.
I don't know why, but I felt like that way. And
because
then
she
like,
wrote the science of it, man. She
Yeah.
brought science in and she made it real life.
Okay, but
in a realistic way to me.
she could have done a little bit less in terms of.
Okay, that didn't bug me the way it bugged you, but we'll talk about why.
Yeah. Okay. So she even like expanded the role. Like Lo went to college in Europe. And there was
Right.
like this idea that people mingle more in Europe than they do here. I mean, I feel like at the core you could like talk about like races and ethnicities.
Yeah. Right. Which I want to say one thing. Most writers, when they start building a werewolf group, a pack of werewolves, the first thing they do is they tie them to indigenous people because it's easy. It's easy to tie it into a lore. It's easy to find something and just tag along on somebody else's story. This woman took the time, built a structure that wasn't a previous lore, wasn't somebody else's back story.
So I don't read enough paranormal in general to like know that. The only werewolfy I've read like 2 other books that are have werewolves in them that I can think of off the top of my head. One was this god awful book series. I only read the first one that Katie and I read last summer during Smut Girl Summer. And the other is Twilight. And Twilight did obviously blatantly steal from a Native American tribe, but I don't know enough about them to know that that's a frequent thing that happens. I just thought the way that she did it made it seem almost like less like paranormal romance and more like speculative fiction. Like this could be something, you know?
This is an alternative universe.
Right.
Just expand your mind a bit.
Yeah. And I think that probably that's because she's a scientist, you know? And she's able to like
the only thing that got under my craw, the only thing, small little bell. She insinuated it was California, but never said it. Like,
it's not California, I didn't think, because they flew to California for Lowe's.
Right. But they made it sound like they were still in California.
Oh.
Like they flew from one part of California. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like that
so
was like
to me there was too much green and like wild.
Maybe they were in Washington?
That's what I thought.
See, I just
that's where I was like, okay, it's like a little bit Twilighty.
I mean, and you know what? Hey, we all get inspiration in different ways. Nothing wrong with that, homie.
The only person I'm ever going to fault for writing fan fiction about Twilight is E.L. James.
Because we want to take our red pens to that book, boo-boo.
It's so bad. All right. We learn a lot about Misery's time among humans where she grew up. It's not grammatically correct, April. As a vampire equivalent
hanging out with me too long.
Collateral. Well, I was doing this on my phone while I was getting my hair done. Misery's life is pretty miserable.
Shit.
Her one bright spot is Serena. So what did you think about their friendship? Because they basically feel like they're sisters. Or Misery feels like that.
This is really bad, and this is the only analogy I have. This is what This is when zookeepers take a puppy
and put him with cheetahs.
Yeah, that's what happened. Poor Misery was alone. They got her a puppy.
They totally did. they found her an orphan to keep her calm.
And that's so disgusting. Because that's
the
really
disgusting part, not the fact that she was literally collateral for
Oh, no,
not
no, no.
killing.
No, I mean, all of it's gross. Like,
Mhm.
Misery's life is gross, right?
Yeah.
She is constantly second thought. She is constantly underappreciated. She is constantly ignored and not loved,
Mhm.
which it's very, very apparent that Childs never felt love ever in her life. And I just want to hug her, but then she would bite me because she doesn't like hugs.
I don't think that she's never felt love. I feel like Serena loves her and her brother loves her.
Yes, but her brother loves her in the way only someone that lived with a distance from her can. You know, her
I don't
brother
agree. I think he loved her like a brother. And I
Mm.
think that they were much closer. A lot of their relationship and the sibling rivalry and rubbing that they do to ribbing. What is it? Who fucking knows at this point? A lot of the picking on each other they do is like they grew up together,
Right,
and not like they grew up
the
separately.
bickering, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think she realizes love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
She's skeptical of anyone that says they love her because her dad is a piece of shit.
Her dad is such a trash can. And you know who I want to play her dad? Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
I kept picturing Carlisle, and it was really hard because he was not a good guy.
No, really?
Mm-hmm.
There's this one actor. I will put his IMDb in the notes because this is the guy I kept thinking of. He's been in True Blood. He's been in a lot of things. He's older. He's Southern, and he just plays prick well. Like every time he's on screen, you're like, that guy's gonna be a prick. I know it.
Cool.
But I forgot the point of this conversation. What were you saying?
Talking about Serena.
Okay, so Serena.
How did you feel about? What did you feel about their friendship?
I'm sober. I don't know what's wrong with me. I liked their friendship. I really did. I love that Serena liked having her space. I loved how they took care of each other post being captive.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Misery was so dedicated to just one other human in this planet that she
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself again just to see if I can save my friend.
I mean, when she got the stipend for being the collateral for all those years, she sent them both to college.
Mm-hmm. That's a ride or die right there.
Yeah,
that's a ride
her
or
family.
Die.
Serena's her family, and she was gonna go put herself at Lo's mercy to find her sister.
Facts.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
All right, speaking of sisters, Lo has a little sister named Anna. Or is it Anna? How do they pronounce it in the book? In the audiobook?
Anna.
Good, because that's how I was doing it in my head. Despite Misery not liking children, she bonds with Anna. Anna, as it turns out, is a half-were, half-human. This secret is one Lo is willing to die to protect. What did you think about Anna's story? Was this necessary? Like, did we need this child character?
Yes. I liked this story. Anna needed to be there for Misery. Mm-hmm. Misery needed to be softened by unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And there is only a few places in this world you get unconditional love. Mm-hmm. Pets and children. Mm-hmm. Children see the purest parts of you. Mm-hmm. They know your true heart. They know who you are on the inside. Mm-hmm. So you can pretend to be a heartless bitch like Misery does. A kid's still going to see you and go, you're going to play with me today and you're going to like it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You sleep in a closet? Cool. I'll come sleep in the closet. That sounds fun.
Right.
Let's do that.
Right. Like, it's more about what Misery needed in the story than Anna. While mm-hmm. Anna's storyline was important and Anna's storyline drove the whole novel, Misery needed a child. Mm-hmm. And there's a line in this book. She's like, what are you, 3, 8, 10? Like, she doesn't know the age of this child. Mm-hmm. And she's talking to her like she's a pet. Mm-hmm. And we all have that one friend when you mm-hmm. first have a child and they don't come over or like really want to hang out to the kids walking. And the first thing they do is they crouch down and they're like, what is it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're like, it's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We all have that one friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we love that friend because they're petrified of children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I am not that friend. I love kids.
I will get on the ground with your kids. I love kids.
I
are
loved
birds,
Anna.
but I love kids.
I loved Anna, but I also loved the way she was with Misery, but I love the way that Lo was with her.
Yes.
The scene where he makes the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, where we discover that Misery likes peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks it's weird that Lo is making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for himself. And the whole time I'm reading that, I'm like, what is wrong with that? Do I make poor life choices? Because
I love
eat peanut butter and
PB&J.
jelly like all the time.
All the time. It is a great snack.
It's
It is a
delicious
great meal.
and nutritious.
It has a protein. It
Mhm.
has a grain. It has a fruit. What are you fucking bitching about, people?
Right. So I thought that was really, but then it turns out, it was
He was
for
preparing.
Anna. He knew that she'd be having a bad dream and she would need him.
That is love.
That is so sweet.
It's so sweet.
These are the moments that Ali Hazelwood puts in her books that I'm like, she writes men that women want. So it's like Adam Carlson in her first book, The Love Hypothesis, he doesn't like chocolate. It's talked about repeatedly in there that he doesn't like chocolate. And he packs chocolate granola bars for Olive.
Because
he puts them in his bag because he knew Olive would be hungry. Like, that's iconic to me. Like, that's the men that she writes.
Because guys, girls, ladies, friends, if you are dating someone, if they want to, they will. Mm-hmm. That is the bottom line.
Yeah.
If they want to, they will.
I mean, Tom's love language is acts of service, so I'm pretty spoiled. Like,
same. That's Matt.
I'm pretty spoiled.
Yeah. And, Mr. Biggs is my rock, like, I am a chaotic little gremlin, and he is a port in the storm because he has no idea what I'm waking up as. I could be in a mountain of pain, or I could be the chaos gremlin I was born to be. You never know what's coming out of the bed. And he is just ready for Feral Molly every day.
Yeah.
That's insane, guys. He signed up for this forever.
Like, I've known you and Matt together as a couple the entire time that I've known you. But I cannot picture, like, a more solid duo for, like you two balance each other really well. Yeah.
We are, in Itzel and Alyssa, you know Matt's cousin, Alyssa. Itzel's always made it very clear that we're couple goals, right? Because like that's the thing their generation says, and you and Tom have this, but you and Tom have a give and take and like this witty repartee that Matt and I don't have. Does that make sense? You have, I don't know. I see you guys smarter than me.
Tom likes to argue with me about things I have degrees in, and I'm just like, you are not going to win.
I can't do that all the time. I have to have this balance in my house. Like, I have to be the chatty one. I have to have someone that just ignores me talking all the time. It's okay. He loves me, I think.
God, back to the book. Misery meets Lo's inner circle when she first arrives, and their reactions kind of range. Some of them are afraid of her. Some are really angry. Some hate her. And then one is protective. What were your thoughts on his inner circle?
The first time, I can't remember the kid's name. He threatened Misery. And then when Misery snapped naturally because it was her instinct, he started pissing himself. And everybody instantly blamed her. I was like, oh, this is going to be a shit show. This is going to be a shit show.
I knew it would be. It was sort of like a little bit like ACOTAR. Like, yeah, you're bringing in somebody and now we have to like, what? We have to like respect her when she's the enemy?
Right. She's different.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But I think the reason they were all, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, they were really well behaved in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think it was because of his reaction at the wedding.
Yes, and we know that they all know, not to give a spoiler yet, I'll hold on to that, but we all know that they know why he had that reaction.
Right. And so I think for the young buck, I think his name was Mike or whatever, or Michael or whatever, was the one that like first went at Misery.
I can't remember his name, but he wasn't really a part of the inner circle. He
was just a pup.
there. Yeah.
He was the one that tried to kidnap the little Anna.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. In addition to Lo trying to form closer relationship with vampires and humans, he is dealing with the dissension in his ranks coming from the former Alpha's widowed mate. This plot point has Misery and Lo traveling alone for the first time. Was the story necessary, or could there have been a different way for them to be alone?
I'm thinking, hold on. I don't think it would have worked without it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't do a honeymoon, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's not really what they do. Mm-hmm. They're not really having a real marriage. It's a year-long marriage just to prove that they could behave. Mm-hmm. He had to prove to the former Alpha's mate that he was solid, that his marriage was solid, mm-hmm. that this mm-hmm. plan was going to work.
Right.
There was and he had to make sure that she wasn't being the crackhead that they thought she was. So,
and they needed someone with tech experience because apparently Lo is terrible at it.
Yeah, I mean, because he can't use a cell phone. What the fuck? But we all know that guy. I have to show my husband how to use Amazon. Matt's great at a lot of things, but I'm still working on the remote with him. It's fine. Tech isn't always Matt. Sorry, Biggs.
I actually
sorry, I'm blast Biggs, but tech's not everybody's.
I actually agree with you that they needed this story. They needed an example of when they could be alone that made sense. And I actually think that this helped build the world out more.
Yep. And it helped the storyline. Mm-hmm. And it helped the storyline a lot.
Yeah. And because essentially the werewolf's alpha making is that you challenge the current alpha mm-hmm. and kill them. And so we just now all have to bow down to the new alpha. And like, that doesn't seem very likely. Now, I know that in packs of animals, this mm-hmm. kind of thing does happen. The new alpha usurps the current alpha. But werewolves are also, like, more human. So mm-hmm. they need to have a more human quality, which would be spiteful and revenge-seeking.
Yeah. You know what the werewolf pack vibe gave me? Especially when they went to meet the old alpha's mate.
What?
Sons of Anarchy. It made me think of Sons of Anarchy.
I can see that.
And Jax constantly placating his mom. Mm-hmm. Trying to make sure that his mom wasn't stepping out of line while he's trying to keep the motorcycle club mm-hmm. squared away, safe, mm-hmm. out of trouble. Mm-hmm. He was going to the alpha, like that's who hit, so I was picturing Kate Siegel mm-hmm. as the former alpha's mate because I instantly, as soon as we went into that format, I was like, oh, this is Sons.
Yeah,
we're doing
good in that role.
It was it's very Macbethy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's very Macbethy.
Very.
And if you didn't know, gang, that's the whole premise of Sons of Anarchy is Macbeth.
I didn't know that, but did you know that the whole premise of The Lion King is Hamlet?
Yep. Because every story is every new story is not original. It came from fucking somewhere.
Well, not if Disney made it. I don't know that Disney's had an original thought since Walt invented Mickey.
Which he had to give up this year, which is now a public figure.
Yeah.
And James Oliver's having a great time with.
Not the current Mickey. He had to give
Steamboat
up.
Willie.
Steamboat Willie, yeah.
Which James Oliver's having a good old time with, by the way, gang. If you like watching a comedian mock major corporations, go take a sneak peek on the internet.
I'm not a fan of him.
That's okay.
All right. In order to fully claim Misery and protect her from his rivals when they're on this trip, Lo decides he's going to mark her.
sent her.
Personal feeling here. Never has sexual tension been written with so much biting.
Oh my God.
Did you think this was a good first intimate encounter for this couple?
The rubbing was all dogs. Like, it's just the licking, the rubbing. While it was sexy as hell, and I don't know why it was sexy.
I don't either, but it was.
It worked. Ali!
I don't know why either.
And I really need to get back into therapy just to discuss why it worked.
Definitely could unpack that in therapy.
Because it shouldn't work for me.
Because I don't really want Tom to, like, rub up all on me, actually.
And I really don't want to be licked all over like that.
I kind of might.
You know what? That's off-pod stuff, baby. That's off-pod stuff, baby.
Everyone in our audience knows how we pay for pod.
You pay for pod. There is no we in paying for pod.
You pimp me out to pay our editor.
Bitch, I don't make you do nothing with your husband. You do it for free.
It's true.
You love that shit. You leave me out of it. Please and thank you.
I did like the biting. I'm a fan of the biting.
I like a strong, aggressive sit down and
yeah.
You can tell me I'm a good girl. It's fine. I'm the boss 95% of the time. He's gonna fucking clip that. God damn it.
No, I'm laughing because that's what I told him last night.
Thank you. That's the end of our pie.
And this is when we get canceled.
And scene.
Oh my gosh. God. That's not okay. That's not okay.
That's us, though, to a T. But no, this aggressive man telling a bossy woman what to do, that's my bread and butter, homie. Like, I'm always in charge. Always. I am always making decisions. I'm always the one that has to do everything for everyone else. So that's the one place I want my brain off. That's the one place I want my brain off. I don't want to be in control. Well, I do a little bit, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Not from, like, experience. Like, Molly and I...
No.
Just to clarify.
we just talk a lot about everything because that's who we are, because we overshare, because we're practically sisters.
Listen, I thought it was a good first encounter for them. I don't know why I found that to be hot. I actually thought that was hotter than the nodding. Like, that really... we'll talk... Actually... This is where we are. Misery is still very convinced that Lo has a mate other than her. Like, he doesn't. Yeah. She thinks that the person who is collateral for the pack with the vampires is his mate.
Right. And but everybody that she's mentioned it to hasn't deterred her from thinking that either.
No, they're like, oh yeah, right.
Of course, right. Sure. Continue on.
But she's willing to fuck him anyway. Right. However,
because they got a year and they're married legally, so what the deal?
Right. And he's a sexy wereman.
And she's a virgin, so why not?
Why not? However, Lo says they can't have traditional P and V sex because they aren't compatible. Turns out Lo has a knot. So I want to talk about knotting. So before we dive into this, I texted you and was like, what is, like, going on with his penis? What's going on with it? Did they explain what a knot is? And you're like, yeah, they explain it later. And then I was like, I kind of figured it was something to do with dogs. So I asked Tom, I'm like, do you know what knotting is? He's like, yeah, it's where dogs are
stuck together.
Mating, and then they're stuck together. And I was like, how the fuck do you know that?
Because we are wealths of random knowledge. ADHD, baby! ADHD!
It's a really weird thing to know. But anyway, so he has a knot.
It's to prevent anything from coming out.
And that is why it super grossed me out. I do not want to talk about keeping your semen in No.
It's a biological.
I don't even like it.
Biological thing that was created to make sure that they procreate more.
I don't even like when they like talk about in books like he spilled out of me. Blech! I want to talk about his sperm and it. No. I don't want the wet spot on the bed. No. No.
You want vague. You want vague when it comes to fluids.
I don't. Yes. I'd be fine if there was no bodily fluid exchanged at all.
Just magically penetrating. No.
Yes.
No. It's just pixie dust in there.
Yes.
And
that would be fine with me.
And hopes and dreams.
That would be fine with me.
That you heard her here first, kiddos. Everything that's inside your vagina is pixie dust from here on out.
Okay.
And Auntie's April says it so.
I do not. I disagree thoroughly. So what did you think about this being like, I mean, this is like
science, boo.
But that's not sexy werewolf to me.
But here's the thing. They're already talking about how they're struggling with like the vampires are having less kids. The werewolves are having less kids.
Uh-huh.
We are trying to build a world where we are trying to procreate and make more kids. So, having a knot that prevents the baby juice from coming out of the place that the baby juice needs to be makes sense. Sorry. I'll do it for you.
I don't think that the werewolves were having as hard of a time procreating as the vampires were, but I think it's because the vampires weren't giving into what they actually needed. Which, by the way, I found the blood drinking less gross in this one than my roommate is a vampire.
My roommate was a vampire bugs. It bugs.
When she starts feeding from him and he's like getting turned on. Like
he's like into it, homie.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, bite me more. Yeah.
He's like, give it to me! Drain me!
Milk my blood!
Let me die as a sacrifice!
That's the kind of giving man you need. Right there.
Expect nothing less, girls.
Yeah, but she's like getting really turned on. And like that scene to me was also really hot. She was like, now I need to ride up on his leg. Because I need the friction.
Here's what's hot about that. It's not about the blood. It's not about the sucking or anything. It's the fact that he wants more of her. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're vibing with as the reader. Mm-hmm. We're going, yeah, you want more of me. Fuck yeah, you want me. Take me, bitch. It would be the same way as if we were reading a book about a woman pegging a man. And he's screaming, fucking give me more. We would be like, yeah. Take that power, bitch.
Did you ever read the rest of the...
Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
Because the character that everyone supposes gets pegged, he does get pegged.
He does get pegged.
And enjoys it.
Very immensely.
I thought that, yeah, that was, I did not like the nodding, but I didn't mind the blood drinking. I don't know what that says about me.
Again, therapy.
I'll unpack that at my next session.
Great.
So, there's a lot of sex in this book. Did the spice hit for you?
Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's Ali Hazelwood. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I knew there was a lot of criticism before this book released, right? Mm-hmm. People were worried about her going into a new genre of romance. And they're like, oh, you know,
Can she do it?
Can she do it? Listen, fuckers, this woman can obviously write herself out of a fucking paper bag. Mm-hmm. So stay in your lanes and let Allie do what Allie does. Write a fucking spicy book, hoes.
The parts I didn't like was I felt like in this book more than any of her other ones, she fell into like the Tessa Bailey trap of bad talk during sex. Like Lo says, oh yeah, take my knot, baby. And I'm like, no.
Like, see, those didn't bug me. The thing that really like got to me and was like ick for me is like when he was taking the spillage out and just you know
rubbing it on her.
Yeah, that was
first he
do
pulled
not
out,
rub your semen on me.
First he pulled out and then came on her back and then like rubbed it in. Ugh.
Don't
No.
rub your semen into me.
No.
Just don't.
No. See, it's the bodily fluids for me. Like, it's the fluids. I can't. I just don't. It's just gross.
I no, thank you. But I'm sure there's someone out there that was like, fuck yes. You know what I mean? That was
I
out.
do
Someone
not want
out.
to meet that person.
You know what? And I'm happy for you that you liked that scene.
Mm-mm.
Because there is someone in the world that enjoyed that immensely. And I'm
Mm-mm.
super fucking happy for you.
Mm-mm.
But I don't need it.
Mm-mm.
I
I
don't.
find it disrespectful when, like, the thought of a guy coming anywhere on your body that isn't,
Right. Well, because
either do it inside or do it in your sock or something, but
You know
don't
what it-
come
you know what-
on my stomach.
You know what it steams from? It's that
Porn?
fucking porn. The cream pies from the
Yeah.
90s and the early O's, where they thought that that's all girls want. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. You know, like, no, that's not what
Nobody
we
likes
want.
being cummed on. No.
No one. No me gusta.
No. It's
No me gusta.
disrespectful. Anyway,
Word.
moving on. So let's go back to Misery's original mission to find Serena. Though through a long side story, we find out that
Massively
Serena.
long.
Right. It's the whole book.
It's a good story, though, dude.
Right. It's a side story that actually, like, makes sense for the main plot.
It works.
So Serena's alive, and
Mhm.
she's being held by not Lo, but Misery's father. And we also find out that Mick is a motherfucking traitor. He has reasons, but whatever. So what
Fuck
did you
you,
think
Mick.
of this plot twist?
Oh, I was surprised.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But I was surprised, but I
Mhm.
also, like, I was surprised by Mick.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't surprised by her dad. Like,
No. He's an
I-
asshole.
right. Like, what the fuck, dude? What
Mhm.
the actual fuck?
Mhm.
But it was a good turn of events.
Mhm.
I can see this, like, this is her first book where it was like, oh, this is a movie. Like,
Mhm.
I can see a theater,
It
like,
could totally be a movie.
it could totally be a movie because this would appeal, and I'm not saying her other books aren't wildly popular, but this appeals to a vaster audience because you're bringing in those elements of Twilight and True
Mhm.
Blood and all these other genres that people already are hyper obsessed with.
Right.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What did you think of the plot twist that her father
Oh,
was
the plot
holding her?
twist. I liked it a lot. And
Yeah.
it really
knew-
fed the rest of the storyline too. As we move on the rest of the book and as we learn why Serena's kidnapped and all that, it really progresses this story a lot faster and it really picks the pace up.
But I have to say, I knew that something was off when they are able to escape so easily. Like,
Yeah.
no,
It was too easy.
it was way too easy.
It was
I think
too
I actually
easy.
texted you that. That was too easy. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck,
And I sent you the zipper emoji
Right,
and I was
right.
like,
Yeah.
that's our like go-to thing in group
That's
chat,
our
by the
go-to
way.
when one of us is finished before the other one. We're like, wait, you'll see. And so let's talk about why Serena was kidnapped. And that is the big, huge plot twist of this book.
Which you called, you bitch.
I did super early into the book.
Yeah, I got to this part and I was like, April's such a bitch. I'm just tired of you being right all the time.
It is a gift. I'm sorry.
Fuck you. Respectfully.
So Serena is actually also half were and half human, and she had Anna's initials on her piece of paper, not Lo's. And the reason was because Anna is also half human, half were. And the reason I figured that plot twist out is because there was no other reason that Anna was needed in the story. So earlier my question was, do you feel like she was necessary? And you gave me a reason to feel like that story was necessary because she softened Misery.
Yeah.
And she showed us who
That
Lo
was
was
the
at his
reason-
heart.
Right. That's who I thought she was in the plot point.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was an
But I
extra
didn't think she was any of that. I just assumed she was the person that Serena was looking for.
I
Because
never
Serena was also
assumed she was a chess piece. I never thought she was in the game.
Mhm.
I'm so dumb.
You're not dumb. I don't have dumb friends.
You just read faster than me.
Did I finish before you?
No.
You finished before me.
I did.
And I didn't read faster than you. What the fuck is wrong with you?
A lot? Do you want it alphabetically or chronologically?
I want to see if your ADHD ass could do that. Either way.
That's not nice. Don't put me in a corner like that. You know very well I'll never do it. Stop it. Don't make me hold up to things I would actually say to do. Don't hold me up to promises.
This is the best friend that picked me, guys. I don't know what else to say. I was the introvert. I got picked.
Did you see that TikTok I sent you
Mm-hmm.
of the lady like, where are we going? Oh, are you kidnapping me now? No, you come with me. You come with me now.
Yep.
Because that's how it works. I just asked Hillary. I didn't give her a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, you're mine now.
Yep. That's how I've collected all of my friends. They just decide that I'm their friend.
I don't like, go. Okay. I am the worst gum on people's shoe.
I don't mind it. I'm happy to have you along still.
Cool beans.
All right. So after all the vampire bloodshed, which by the way, their blood is purple and the werewolf's blood is green, which I thought was a super weird choice.
Would have been a cool green and blue, like every middle school bedroom in the early 90s. Green and blue. Or what was it? It was green and purple. Green and purple. Green
like Barney?
Purple. No, it was like a light green and a light purple together, like giving like this wisteria garden vibe.
All right. I don't know. All right. Well, okay. So after all the vampire bloodshed, Misery decides she wants to stay with Lo, even though he's still lying to her about being mates, even though they've already fucked. He's like, we're not mates. And that's like the miscommunication trope where they break up. And so was he right to keep this information? And what about them still ending up choosing each other?
He didn't want to take her options away from her.
100%. Everybody else
had. She had never gotten to make a choice in her life for herself. Mm-hmm. Every choice that she ever picked for herself was was something unselfish, right? Mm-hmm. She was doing for others. Mm-hmm. When she volunteered to be the bride alone,
it was because of Serena.
Yep, it was an unselfish motivation. Like, I mean, it was a little selfish. She wanted her best friend back, right? But she's never done anything for herself. Mm-hmm. Anything. Mm-mm. So he wanted to make sure she wanted this. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be Meredith. Pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Don't be a pick-me girl. Don't be a pick-me girl.
But that's what it was, right? Like, he wanted her to want it. Mm-hmm. He wanted her to pick it, not be forced into it. And I get that. You don't want somebody in a relationship with you because they feel like they have to. You don't want to be in a relationship of an obligation. That's not love.
This was also
That's not love.
Gave me Akatar vibes because have you finished the second Akatar yet? A Court of Mist and Fury?
No. Wait, I have to reread the first book because
hang on.
I have to reread the first book if I'm actually going to get into that series, but I don't know if I'm going to.
Okay, well,
I didn't vibe with the first book.
That's okay because that book just sets the scene, sets the world. You need to get to Rhys and Farah, but Rhys never. I'm going to spoil it for you because
that's fine.
I don't fucking care. But Rhys doesn't want to tell Farah that he's her mate because he wants her to choose him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to force her to do something. And that's exactly what Lo was doing here. He didn't want to force it. And my final question for you is, how did you feel about the little chapter starters that were from Lo's point of view?
I loved this.
I did too.
Because I don't know if you did the audiobook or the
did the physical book.
The audiobook, it's a male audiobook narrator.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you that.
It was
my only problem with it was the very first time that they do it. I'm trying to find it. I thought that it was from a different point of view, like the whole chapter.
No.
And then I was like, I had to go back and reread the chapter because I was like, oh.
The more you get to know Lo, the more fitting it is throughout the novel.
Mm-hmm.
He is a man of few words.
Mhm.
He's not going to put his secrets on the page.
Nope.
He's not going to be sharing his heart.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to just give us, the readers, that
Mhm.
little snippet was more than he wanted to give us.
Yeah. I liked it a
So
lot.
I liked it. Exactly. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
I thought it was a good way to bring in another voice. It also helped with the world building
Yes.
and helped us know Lo more. Yeah, I liked it.
100%.
Well, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything to add? I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads.
I'm really pissed at Ali.
Mm-hmm.
She left it open-ended.
She could make this a series.
She left it open-ended. A companion series, because
Mhm.
she didn't leave it open for Misery and
Lo. It's
her
Serena and Lo's
cousin?
uncle?
I don't fucking know. By the way, I want a gold star because I didn't sing Misery's Business by Paramore once throughout this episode. And it killed me.
Okay, gold star. Tom, put it right here.
Right there. I didn't sing once this episode, and I could have. I fucking could have, gang.
I don't know that you deserve a fully gold star because you still brought it.
Fuck you.
Maybe a silver
No respect.
One. All right, next week we're reading this book, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
I'm so excited about this book.
And I read in chapter 6 now, and you've already read it.
And I'm rereading it this weekend so I can write questions.
Yeah.
I read this over last summer. I made Matt, Piper, and Livia all reread it after I did because it gave me Cerulean Sea vibes, and every single one of them loved it.
Yeah.
So
I'm enjoying it so far. It's just a little bit of a slow
start.
startish.
It picks up. The audiobook narrator does a really good job. Mm-hmm. I really like the audiobook narrator.
I'm listening and reading. I'm doing both so I can finish.
Because we have a lot of books to read this month, if you guys didn't know.
So speaking of, I don't have a copy of it up here with me, but Senator's Wife, put that right here.
Oh my God.
That book is by Liv Constantine, which is a sister writing duo. That is their pen name, Liv Constantine.
I stayed until 10 o'clock finishing that last night.
It was good. We're going to be talking to the two of them in 2 weeks.
I'm so excited to talk to Lynn and Valerie.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. So we're going to talk to them in 2 weeks. And we all know, listeners to this pod all know that thrillers, especially political thrillers, not my thing. Mm-mm. Go read this book. That is all I can tell you. Everything else is a spoiler. Go read it. It's that good.
Guys, this is our first ever bat of having dual writers on.
Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about it.
I am very excited about this. And they're older writers, and what I mean is they've been in the industry a while. They have 10 plus novels.
They have so many. Yeah.
So and Lynn writes solo on her own. If you are a writer or have a writer's friend, you're gonna want to be on this episode because these women are going to have advice. They're going to have experience. 100%. They're 100%. Gonna bring something to this table that we have not had here yet. Right. And that is something spectacucular. So do not miss Liv Constantine in 2 weeks.
And the other reason that we're interviewing them is because one of the sisters will actually be at Annapolis Book Festival, where we will be streaming live on April 27th. We'll be streaming to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll be interviewing 5 authors live that day, and that'll be packaged into a full episode.
Woo! Isn't that so exciting?
That's very exciting. Check social media. Later this month, we'll release what we're doing in May. And we just started planning season 7. So
if you guys have a book you are dying for us to read. Dying for us to read.
Yeah.
Season 7 is open right now.
Yeah, we have not.
DM
we have only picked like the first book. Like that's all that's like set in stone.
DM us.
Yeah.
Send us a message on Insta, TikTok. You guys know how to get a hold of us. We're here. We love fan suggestions. We'll drag you if it sucks.
Yeah, we will.
We'll drag you if it sucks. But we will read that motherfucker.
We will.
We will. So hit us, guys.
Yep.
Hit us. Till next.
Well, that's all I've got.
Next time, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of April and Molly, not those of anyone else. Today's book was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins, editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.